Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the UK Dairy Showcase Cinema webinar today. Thank you for joining us. We are actually going to be only showcasing Poland today. The other two, due to various holidays, etc., we'll be doing at a later date. So yeah, please do bear with us, but it'll be slightly shorter, so you'll get some of your day back. But welcome to this. So we are managing this on behalf of DBT. So this is for the UK Dairy Showcase. I'll be introducing you to Roddy Wild, who'll be taking you through the sort of more details of the programme and you know how we're doing it and what we're doing. And he's the project manager for this. But I just wanted to sort of quickly let you know we will be recording this. This will be available online for all exporters. So if you haven't been able to watch it or a colleague's been away, this will be available to be seen afterwards. And then, of course, any questions, please do ask us afterwards. And, you know, if you think of something further down the road, please feel free to email us as well. But yeah, we're very excited to be running this UK Dairy Showcase. And this is very much the sort of start of it all with these series of webinars. And then hopefully moving on to the fantastic buyers that we've recruited, all the way through to outward missions to some of these markets in 2025. But I'm going to let Roddy Wild actually take you through this a bit more. So I'll pass over to you, Roddy.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you and welcome. As Lucy said, just a brief overview of the UK Dairy Showcase programme and where we are to date with it. So these market briefings are really the main kick-off point for the official programme, and then coming into the beginning of September, for all participating UK exporting companies, the online platform for matchmaking and requesting meetings with buyers will open. So you will be able to see all of the buyers there and request time slots and meetings with them, and they will also be able to do the same with the companies. So we'll be hoping that calendar gets all filled up for the day of meetings in September, and then we go into the actual showcase on the 26th of September for your day of one-to-one meetings with the buyers and the evening reception, which is a networking reception, not a table-seated event, where you will be able to have conversations, either continue conversations you've had with buyers you've met, or indeed the ones you haven't been able to meet, you will be able to hopefully catch up with them in the course of the evening. Following the showcase, there will be a follow-up occasion for dairy promotion at the ambassador's residence in Paris, where there will be a dairy showcase alongside other British produce. That will be another good opportunity to catch international buyers who may not have been able to attend the showcase, or who indeed are in Paris for the CIAL exhibition. So that's another good opportunity, and there will be communication about that in due course. And as Lucy mentioned, the final part of the programme in 2025, once we have determined the level of interest and the most appropriate markets to target, depending on the outcomes from the showcase, we'll be doing some missions to market in 2025 with companies, but we'll be communicating about that post September. So that's the overview of the programme, and now I'm going to pass you on to our senior trade advisor from Poland, Edyta Sachs, who's going to talk about Polish market and the opportunity for dairy. Thank you, Edyta.
Thank you, Roddy, and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I hope you can see me, hear me, that you can see my slides. If not, then I trust my colleagues will tell me. Welcome. Perhaps we had a chance to meet in the past. I've been working at the embassy for the past 5 years, so it's been a while. If not, then it's very nice to meet you. You can see my contact details on the slide. If you have any more specific questions afterwards, or if you just want to get in touch, please feel free to do so. Let me start. So Poland, why should you look at Poland as your next exporting market? As you probably all know, Poland is in the Central Europe, and it's the biggest Central European market. It's in the most convenient location between Germany, Czech Republic, Eastern countries. So very often companies which are based here in Poland will be able to supply also other Eastern European countries. Big, significant population, almost 40 million. And UK is our trusted partner in international trade. So we actually import food and drink, significant volume of food and drink from the UK. I won't lie, it's majority of that import for us is alcohols, but still other categories perform well as well. Currency is zloty, so we don't have euro. Zloty, it's around 5 zloty per 1 pound. Other economic features of Poland include very high place in GDP ranking, very high place in World Competitiveness Report. We can definitely see as Poles that our country is developing very fast. As a customer walking into a shop, I can see plenty of international brands and plenty of newcomers. So a few words about retail landscape. These two supermarkets are the main players. Here you've got some statistics. What I really wanted to show you is the importance of discount stores in Poland. So as you can see, even in the past few years, the market share of discount chains grew. And this is the trend that will continue. Because something I will repeat a few times today will be price sensitivity and Poles' attention to price. So as you can see, we've got plenty of players in discount chains, such as Biedronka, which is a part of Jeronimo Martins, Lidl, which is German, Netto, Aldi, a few others. Then we've got small grocery stores, independent ones, on every corner, managed by a family. So it's not easy to target each particular shop separately. That's why you need distributors. Small supermarkets, convenience stores, also very important, especially in big cities. And you might have heard about Żabka. Żabka is our main convenience store, one which is growing again very rapidly. Alternative sales channels such as online or specialist stores. Online has grown significantly after COVID, especially in big cities. But we are noticing that those stores, there is, for example, Frisco, used to only deliver in Warsaw, and nowadays they cover, I think, 10 biggest cities in Poland, so also very important. And then petrol stations. And this is interesting because this is an effect of a Sunday trading ban. So if you are not aware, in Poland on Sundays, majority of shops are closed. The only shops which can be open are either these small independent shops where the owner is the one who is working on Sunday, or petrol stations, because they are open 24/7, or if a shop proves that they have some postal services as well. So there are some workarounds, but in general, shops supposed to be closed. And that's why petrol stations nowadays have a huge selection of products, because they wanted to fulfill that niche and provide customers with an opportunity to still shop for groceries on Sundays. I wanted to share a few details about each type of retailer that we've got here in Poland. So here you can see discounters, and as you can see, Biedronka has thousands of stores all around the country. What you need to know about Biedronka, because it seems very promising, that kind of volume that you can sell to a retailer who's got 3,000 stores. What you need to know about them is, first, they are focused on pricing first and almost nothing else. So pricing is super important. And what you also need to know is that they don't have a big selection per category. So they will have, for example, one type of shampoo or 3 types, but not 20. And they will also have 2 types of milk and not 10 types of milk. When it comes to international suppliers, typically the ones who are able to work with Biedronka work on these in and out campaigns. So Biedronka will, for example, have just 2 weeks when they will have your products just to try. But it's a good opportunity if you are able to do it. It's a good opportunity because then you can see whether they were sold or not. Still, both Biedronka and Lidl will want to work with someone locally. So you can work with them directly, but then all logistics are on your side. You need to make sure that your products will be delivered on time to their main warehouses. And sometimes they say that they prefer to work directly with manufacturers because then pricing can be managed and just lower than if there's someone in the middle. But on the other hand, they want to have a Polish speaker. They want to have someone who will be responsible for the product, who will be able to sign the deal with them in Polish. And it's very much possible to find a good distributor who will cooperate with them. I will mention a few at the end of my presentation. So you've got Biedronka and Lidl. These two are just leading within discount stores, but you've got some others as well. You've got Netto, which took over Tesco stores because Tesco was in Poland but left a few years ago. I think mainly because of the pricing pressure and huge competition. So that's where the majority of British brands were, but nowadays they can be found in others, in other chains as well. Supermarkets. These are a bit less focused on pricing, and these are the ones that I typically recommend to British companies. I think Carrefour and Kaufland are the ones which have big selection of products, and also when it comes to Carrefour, they will have separate shelves, for example, for Italian products and separate shelves for French products, and so on. Dino and Polo Market are Polish, and what you need to know about pretty much all retailers here in Poland, they tend to promote Polish produce and Polish-made products. So they will have specific aisles and shelves which will say "Made in Poland," and they will pride themselves in the fact that they are supporting local manufacturers. Some even say that they have a target. For example, 90% of their suppliers are Polish. But when it comes to that, if you are working with a distributor, then the distributor is Polish and they can probably count them in these 90%. And also, on the other hand, it's important for them to have something unique, something that their competitors don't have. So it's a challenge, but it's not something that will stop you from entering the market. As you can see, I don't have a slide which would show premium stores, premium chains. I often get asked about those. We used to have a few. Some of you might remember Alma or Piotr i Paweł. They all closed, which I think shows trends on the market. Convenience. I mentioned Żabka. Again, 10,000 stores. Impressive. If you are in a big city in Poland, if you look around, wherever you are, if you look around, you will find at least 2 Żabkas on the horizon. So they are everywhere. This is a franchise network. So these are managed by individual. There's no one big franchise operator. Each shop is owned by an individual. But as a typical convenience store, they are mainly looking for snacks, drinks, ready-made meals, any products which are needed when you are on the go. So probably not cheese or milk, but if you've got some interesting drink, or if you've got something that can be eaten as a snack, perfect. The others, which are mentioned on this slide, are actually all part of Eurocash. Eurocash is a big conglomerate of various retailers, and these are something in between supermarkets and independent stores. So they are trying to have the same benefits as a independent store. They are very close to the customer, but on the other hand, they have one big purchasing department, so easier to target for you. And then wholesalers, obviously, these are just two examples. There are plenty of FMCG wholesalers which will cover specific regions. I mentioned these two because these have their own stores. So every business can enter as long as they have a specific card. They can enter, they can buy, for example, ingredients for their restaurant, or they can buy some stock very quickly for their shop. Typically, independent stores still cooperate with these other FMCG distributors and receive orders, but for restaurants, I think these two are very interesting and should be your target. So main trends, I already mentioned a few. Like I said, Made in Poland, it's a big campaign by our government, so there are some advertisements. There are these stickers on products which encourage customers to buy specific products. Organic, bio-free from products definitely gain popularity. There are specific retail chains which will focus only on these, still quite small, but are growing. Buyers from those retail chains will ask for certification. So it's very important that if your product is organic, you've got relevant paperwork to prove it. Otherwise, they won't buy it. So the trend is growing, but it's still, I think, it's not huge, and still, because these products are then more expensive, I think it's something niche, worth exploring, but this is not the mainstream market yet. Market fragmentation. What I meant by this is, first of all, independent stores everywhere. Second of all, like I said, wholesalers who can be based in one region and will only cover this particular region. But your answer to that should be working with a distributor, specific distributor who has dairy, and then he will supply to those wholesalers around Poland, and they will then distribute to shops. Premium products, all our reports that I'm reading say that definitely premium products are sold more and more often. I think it's mainly visible not in food, but in other sectors. So fashion or automotive, within food as well, but in big cities, of course. And what you need to remember is that Poland is not just Warsaw, and Poland is not just rural area somewhere in the middle. It's both. So that's also what I meant by market fragmentation. You need to learn a bit about this market to make sure that you can offer something that will be actually bought, and preparation is super important. So I can share some insights into the market today. But I would still encourage you to read a bit more, maybe even to come and explore if you have a chance. What will succeed? Something innovative and something unique. So my advice would be not to try and compete with products, mass products, which we also either can source from our neighbors or can produce ourselves. Something unique, something with a story, something that's different but interesting. You need to prove that you've got those USPs, because that's what will attract both buyers and customers. Now, a few words about dairy in particular. So import of dairy, as you can see, this chart also includes eggs and honey. That's the best I could find. The data comes from Statista. If you are interested in more specific data, I can also share it. So as you can see, import, well, I would say it's stable in the past 2 years. What you need to know, though, is that we are exporting twice as much of dairy as we are importing. So there is strong local competition. And here you can see some examples. All of these are our local companies. Mlekowita is the leader, but others, as you can see, follow Mlekowita very closely. Pricing, perhaps the most important part of my presentation. You can analyze this later, but this is, I think, this could give you an idea of what kind of pricing you can also look at when it comes to your products. And then distributors. So at the showcase, you will have a chance to meet Jan, who is on the board of Temar. Temar is a distributor of dairy, not only cheese, various other products. What's interesting is that they cover not only Poland, but also Baltic states. So Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. What's also important is that they are selling to retail chains that I mentioned, and they told me that they are actually in touch with majority of them. I know for sure that their products can be found in Lidl and take lots of space in Lidl. They also have experience in cooperating with UK suppliers. They've got some cheddar brands already in their portfolio. They very much are interested in adding more to their portfolio. As you can see, they've got some plant-based drinks, they've got some vegan options. So this just proves what I told you about niche and unique products. That's probably what they will be looking for. And they are selling online via Allegro. And Allegro is our Polish Amazon, but we also in the recent years, we welcomed Amazon in Poland as well. But what's important and what's interesting is that because Allegro has already established their position here, they are dominating the market. That's the main marketplace. They are also present in other Central and Eastern European countries. And Amazon in the past few years, they've been here, didn't manage to steal any market share from them. So still, if you want to sell online, Allegro is your best bet. With Allegro, you can either sell directly because they've got fulfillment, or through a distributor, which is easier, just for logistics' sake. But they've got their website in English and all the guidelines in English. If you are interested, it's possible to learn more. And here you've got some more examples of distributors. All of them were invited to the showcase. It might be that some of them will still confirm, but if not, then you are welcome to go to their websites, try to reach out. As far as I'm aware, none of them advertise having any UK brands in their portfolio. There are some distributors who will have Polish brands still and just a few international ones, or there will be these like Flomaro, which will focus on Italian and French cheeses. So this will probably require some convincing that you also got something you can compete with. But I think it's worth it, because there are also some stores specifically for dairy. And I think these smaller distributors will sell to those stores. And I always say that it's good to even start small in Poland and then you can grow. But it's, you know, important to be here and then you can try to build up on that. When it comes to food service, like I said, Makro, Selgros, these are big wholesalers, but a big distributor and wholesaler, which will cover the whole country, is Bitfood. So you may also want to check them out. They are providing products specifically for hotels, restaurants, catering. A very big player. They've got contact details on their website. You can also send your offer. But about sending the offer, when you are doing that, remember that Poles always expect details. So it probably won't work if you will just send an email and say that you would like to have a chat. Tell them in advance that you've got something in particular to offer. It would be best if you could even share the offer in advance. I know that it's not always easy for you to give an offer when you don't know exactly what's the expectation. But give them at least some brochure, at least some idea of the pricing. Give them a few facts in advance, which will convince them. Remember that at the beginning, the conversation might be a bit formal. In Poland, we talk to each other per Mr. and Mrs. So it's just, even in that, you can see the difference. Of course, you will be probably contacting them in English, so it will be a bit different. But still, at the beginning, it might be a good idea to write a very official email, at least the first one. Remember to be very well prepared. Like I said, an offer is great, but if not an offer, then write an email which will be well structured and actually include some important details. Don't be too flexible at the beginning. I don't want to say that flexibility is not an advantage. It is. But we just want concrete information at the beginning. And then you can say, but of course, if you would like to negotiate prices, let's do it, let's have a discussion, and so on. Now, please note that what I'm saying here is about general environment, general tips. I'm not saying that Jan, who will be at the showcase, is the same. He's actually a member of the young generation, I would say, in business, so he might be different. But these tips will definitely work for any emailing that you would like to do, any new outreach, additional outreach. And what's also important is, please don't assume that your contact will know the brand already. Plenty of Poles travel to the UK or used to live there, and that's true. But it's not a huge enough number for British brands to be recognizable here. So there's still, you need to build that recognition. Don't assume that we will know immediately. But what's also important is that if you manage to have that first contact, if you manage to have that first conversation, and they will be interested, they will become friendly very easily. I think it's, again, a bit of a cultural difference. We even hear a lot that Poles don't smile, that on the street, if you're a foreigner, if you come to Poland, walk, no one will smile at you. That's just something that's not natural to us. But then if you start that conversation, if it goes well at the beginning, you will see that a good relationship can be built with effort. And also, I think what's important is that retailers who are just expecting offers will be even less patient with any relationship building. So if you're approaching buyers, specifically a buyer at Biedronka, they don't want any chit chat. They just want an offer, ideally in their template, an offer, concrete information on when you can supply these goods, concrete information on whether you are already selling here or not, whether you've got another partner or not. And then if they say the initial yes, then maybe they will meet with you, but they will still not want to have many calls in the meantime. They just, they say they don't have time. Well, I think that's the style of our buyers. I think that's, oh yeah, that's all. A few additional resources. So if you would like to see more statistics, you can go to Statista, but some of them will be behind the paywall. So if you need any specific data, let me know. I will try my best to find this for you. Then you've got some websites prepared by our government. Might be interesting to go there and to read a bit more. And then when it comes to associations and events here locally in Poland, I don't think food and drink events are very internationally focused. I think it's best to go to Sial or to Anuga, and you will meet some buyers from Poland there as well. And the association, the main association, is the Polish Chamber of Milk, no other dairy association. And what's important, we don't have associations of importers or distributors, so they are not easy to find. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edita. I think we'll all agree that was a really great presentation, very thorough, and lots of great information for our exporters, good insight into the Polish market. Just before going to Q&A, if there are any questions that have been placed in chat or anybody wants to ask, just a quick word about what we're going to follow this up with, in particular with regards to to logistics and route to market. We have a specific package of solutions which is being put together to bring everything together into one coherent place for exporters to access and to be signposted as to where to find the solutions they need for getting products across into the EU. And it's specifically to address the smaller quantities, because this is really where the less than full load is really where the issues have been increasingly difficult, especially since Brexit. So samples, the essential first step in any relationship, are an absolute nightmare when it comes to exporting into EU, as are very small quantities, which may need to be a feature of business if you're building in the specialty or the premium food sector. But indeed, anything less than full load can be a challenge. So there are solutions out there, but we're bringing as much of it together as we can into one coherent place, and trying to also innovate a little bit in the area of samples and consolidation, to try and provide extra solutions for exporters. This is going to be a feature in its own online session, targeted for the beginning of September, so we'll communicate that in due course. And hopefully it will be a good support for the new opportunities that might come from the showcase. So that said, if there were any questions, or if anybody has any questions for Edita, then please write or raise hand or speak out.
I don't think they can raise hands or anything, but I think they can pop it in the Q&A
Yes,
part.
right.
So yeah, if you pop it into the Q&A section, if you've got any questions. Equally, you know, if you think of something afterwards, or you'd prefer to sort of ask one-on-one, then you can either email myself or Roddy, or we can make sure you get Edita's details, and you can actually do it. So we've actually got a question from Craig Bode from Bradbury's here. Is private label taking over brand in Poland, or is it brand focused in the cheese category?
Well, it depends. I think all discounters nowadays have their own private label. So in Biedronka and in Lidl, you will find cheese under their own private label, and they will be manufactured by the leaders in Polish manufacturing. So Mlekowita, Piątnica, and the like that I mentioned before will then manufacture private labels for discounters. But on the other hand, I think it's 50-50. You can also find branded cheese right next to it. So it depends on the customer. The customer has a choice. In cheese in particular, I think it's still private label is not dominating as much as it is in other categories. So there's still plenty of opportunity in there.
That's great, thank you. That's actually really helpful. And maybe there's an opportunity in the private label sector then to get in there. Okay, great. Any other questions from anybody? If not, do let us know afterwards if you think of anything. Great. Well, shall we, Roddy, you okay with that? Should we wind that up now?
Yep,
thanks for
absolutely.
that. That was brilliant. That was a really good presentation. Thank you, Edita. That's very helpful, nicely comprehensive. And I think that answered probably quite a few of the questions that the guys would have. Do let us know if there's any other questions. Otherwise, we will be back tomorrow with more webinars. Yes, do let us know. Oh, hold on. We've got one more. There's a last minute one that's just come in from Jonathan Cope. Do all major retail chains operate through central distribution? We almost got off there, didn't we?
As far as I'm aware, yes. When it comes to retail chains, they will have one office, one purchasing department that will make decisions for all of their locations, and they will have one central warehouse that they will expect suppliers to deliver their products to. So yes.
Okay, fantastic. Great. Should we try again? Any other questions? If not, yes, we will see you tomorrow for another 2 webinars. Do join us for them. It should be really interesting. We've got quite a lot of information coming to you, I think, tomorrow. So that should be good. But in the meantime, have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you then. Thank you very much. Thanks, Adita.
Thank you very much.